This year, the planetary project goes global with series of international meetings and presentations. In July 2016, the Planetary Development Institute took part in the International Interdisciplinary Conference Modern Tendencies of Forming the Global Community, organized by the Center for Strategic Research and Integration with International Community, Tbilisi, Georgia. It was held at the Batumi Rustaveli State University. Batumi is an administrative center of a Jara Autonomous Republic, a port city on the Black Sea, the largest resort in Georgia and one of the most popular holiday resorts in the Caucasus. The history of the city dates to the beginning of the first millennium AD. Today, Batumi is the most important cultural, economic and tourist center of Georgia. This city is an intriguing mixture of old city and high style, the legacy of the past and dynamics of the modern world. It is believed that Batumi is the living picture of renewed Georgia. But still the most recognizable wonder of the city is the hospitality of the locals, which is known far beyond the borders of Ajaria. In Batumi, guest is sacred, and his proper reception is a rule throughout Georgia. The philosophy of the planetary project, inspired with peace, harmony, biocentrism, is consistent with the local culture and world outlook. So we were very pleased that our ideas were well received not only among the science community, but also among ordinary people that we met and became friends with. The conference started with a welcome speech given by the head of the conference scientific committee, Anastasia Zakariadze. She emphasized the importance of the global community construction, especially in our century of global challenges and great opportunities. The focus on the international participants list was also of great importance. There were representatives of Kazakhstan, Georgia, Iran, Iraq, and Israel. The team of the Institute represented the United Arab Emirates, where our central office is situated. Our team turned out to be in a very serious company of international students and opponents. Our goal was not only to make a good impression, but also to prove the correctness of our position. This difficult and honorable role was taken by the Executive Director of the Planetary Development Institute, Mr. Abhishek Singh. His report, From Sustainable Development to Managed Harmony, a Paradigm Shift, revealed the essence of our collective endeavor, the Planetary Project.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for having us here. I'm representing a group, a project, an institute based in United Arab Emirates. I hail from India, born and brought up. And the author and the general director of our institute and the project is Dr. Alexander Bezvoda. And our director for science is also accompanying us. So I would first of all start with, we have bought a small present for each of us, each of you. This is a book, our first manifest, about which we will be talking today. During the coffee break, I request Dr. Alexander to sign a few copies for the learning professors, and even for all our friends who are from, we can have e-book, e-stubs I have bought for you. It's a small present from our side, please. We will be talking about from sustainable development to managed harmony. So I'll just come back again, sorry for the technical lag. The managed harmony. So Batumi is the place where we can understand how harmonized can be all our nationalities. I don't know the statistics, how many nationalities live here. I know today we got to know how many nationalities live in Kazakhstan. We love these places because there is a harmony, and that is going to be the solution of tomorrow's world. And that is going to be our stress during our small 15-20 minutes speech, if you will. In 1992, basically, for the first time in Rio de Janeiro, there was a declaration which was adopted, the ideological basis of which, in fact, was the concept of sustainable development. Since then, it becomes the basis of many national and international strategies for the development of large systems of human activities. states, economies, international organizations, alliances, and up to a certain extent, the entire world community. According to the latest version of sustainable development, there are roughly 17 areas which have been highlighted under this subject. First is elimination of poverty. Second is elimination of hunger, health and well-being, high quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, low cost clean energy, provision of jobs and economic growth, industrialization, innovation and infrastructure, the reduction of social inequality, sustainable cities and towns, responsible consumption and production, and fight against the climatic change, conversion of marine ecosystem, peace, justice, effective public institutions, and partnership in sustainable development. There has been a certain amount of failure when we talk about the concept of sustainable development. If I may try to highlight few reasons of failure. The first steps in the practical implementation of sustainable development concept began to discover its imperfection, the rawness and one-sidedness when in 1997 we first of all came across Kyoto Protocol. There are things like world crisis. We had a 2008 financial crisis. The market economy has declined, and when these macroeconomic factors take place, there's again lots of questions about sustainable development arises, because there are problems which we need to address. Global problems from the main risks of modern society and all its subsystems, including both ecology and economy. When we try to discuss, we see that the global problem from 1992 have worsened in a way. When we talk about economics, we can see the problem rising. When we talk about political, we can also see how many times many superpowers, even in this unipolar world, have been coming across on the verge of wars. Already in Middle East, lots of wars have been taking place and still going on. Lots of social inequality, and one of the biggest problems which we see today in Europe is the migration problem. And this migration problem now is leading practically every day, whether it is Germany, France, becoming a hot boiling pot. So, while talking about the concept of sustainable development, we see that there are lots of conflict of interest, lots of global, national interests are being reflected from different parties. There's practically absence and lack of high cost when we talk about alternative technological solutions. Yes, certainly, technology has given us, when we again talk about those developed worlds like Germany, US, I think practically everybody today uses Apple, Samsung, whatever. All these softwares are being developed in California, etc. So they have been providing certain technological solutions, but the implementation of those solutions is practically uncontrolled, which I would like to highlight in later part of my explanation when I talk about harmonized management. These all things bring in some way to an understanding that there is an absence of common ideological program or a platform where all people, all global players can come together and discuss. There were certain weaknesses also where we feel that sustainable development could not give answers to the question that how to be a crisis manager or how to manage a crisis during the modern world. What should be the order, regulation, control of this activity? Very important question, who should
be controlling such activities, or who should have the competency and the power. And certainly when we talk about global problems, we understand that very large number of resources are needed. So who will be funding those solutions to the problem? So when there are more questions than answers, so what we have come up today is that we find lots of, we would like to present certain solutions from our side, which we have named as our planetary project. So, first of all, we need to identify the ideas and the correct actions. In the second step, we need to identify the theory and the practical problems, and then try to provide the original solutions to the sustainable development problems. So the mission of our planetary project is to create foundation for a united planetary civilization which is capable of creating conditions for managed human development. The goal is to resolve global problems, unifying humanity, preserving the cultural, political identity of nations, and achieving harmony between society and nature. The vision is in the course of the implementation of the planetary project, which will become a global social humanist movement which will enable mankind to manage its own development. How can these things be done? That's creating the scientific, practical foundation for global systematic actions to save the planet from possible cataclysm, encouraging innovations and development of formal and technical sciences, and about the sixth, following the standards of sixth techno-economic paradigm. It's a way of organizing production and other socio-economic relations based on high-tech and science-intensive technologies. For example, nanotechnology, quantum information technology, cognitive science, social and humanitarian technologies, convergence of sciences. The advantage of sixth technological order compared with previous forecast will be sharp decrease in energy intensity and material intensity of the production in the construction materials and organisms with predetermined properties, which we, when I try to talk about technological innovations which are taking place in any field, we are seeing day by day. There is a strive from each and every part of our society to, whether it is saving the water, saving the going green, and these are the small steps which people take, which we call as baby steps. And certainly when we talk about sixth techno-economic paradigm, that has to be taken by big transcontinental organizations and governments as such.
Our report aroused general interest and lively discussion among the participants of the conference. A number of theses proposed by the planetary project, including the criticism of the concept of a sustainable development, were highly supported. After the presentation, a number of questions which clarified the audience the mission of our planetary project had been discussed. The International Interdisciplinary Conference, Modern Tendencies of Forming the Global Community, became the first international platform for planetary project. We express our sincere gratitude to the Center for Strategic Research Integration with International Community and the hospitality of Batumi. The start is given. There are lots of events ahead.